Good evening. Today is April 22nd. S&P 500 has reversed yesterday's gain and ended up down 35 points as the news of Biden's tax plan hit the wire. S&P tested 4150 level this morning and held, as Victor you have predicted, and we traded as high as 4170 this morning, as Nikkei had a really good day today. But then Biden said that he's about to propose capital gain tax as high as 43.4% for the wealthy. This will basically about double the tax rate from where it is right now. And for the New Yorkers, the combined state and federal capital gain tax rate would end up as high as 52%, and for Californians as high as 56.7%. So I'm guessing the migration from New York and California to Florida and Texas is going to continue, as last year, Florida and Texas were the two highest states where people are moving into. Doesn't seem like Biden is going to stop there. He's about to propose more taxes to fund the child care. So stocks obviously didn't like that, at least for now, for today. And NASDAQ was down over 1%, but bonds were up. On top of this, there are lots of rumors flying around about taxing the crypto. Even though I'm pretty sure the rumors are fake, they're saying something like 80% tax rate. I'm not buying that at all, but that nonetheless is shaking the confidence of crypto traders, and Bitcoin is down 6% today, for example, and getting close to 50,000 level. Right now, last I checked was 51 and a half, but 50,000 is a very important level for it to hold.
That's the Sogi level.
Sogi level, right.
It applies ubiquitously in all aspects of life and romance.
Meanwhile, Coinbase was down another 6% today and broke the 300 level. It traded as high as 430 on the dates opened. And Dogecoin is still trading at pretty high level of 26 cents, with valuation is almost twice as big as Credit Suisse. So the joke is on. And as more and more people are being vaccinated and having natural immunity from actually having COVID, it seems like the vast majority of the population is already here and we have herd immunity. The fear mongering must continue. And so there are more rumors of mutant virus. Apparently, scientists at Texas A&M University said that they have detected a new COVID variant that shows signs of antibody resistance. So the fear must continue. Victor, what do you make of today's stock sell-off? Is that something temporary, or people overreacted to the Biden's proposal, or is this the beginning of the new shift?
Well, nothing personal, but we mentioned yesterday that we could see it bounce below the Sogi level before going to the 30.
Yes.
Before going to the 3,200, before it got to the 3,400. We've been talking about the steady rise to 30. This is an amazing day. It really is a culmination of all the bad that's been happening. The proverb, if you sow the wind, you reap the whirlwind, comes to mind. All the big corporations have been uniformly in favor of all the progressive moves that have been made. The key was moving the All-Star game out of Atlanta. Tremendous support for the conviction of Chauvin. Not that it wasn't justified, but an incredible broken down court system when the chairwoman of the Financial Service Committee and the president are both praying that he'll be convicted. In addition, if he isn't convicted, there's likely to be massacres and riots all over the United States. So, and that's the backdrop of today. Today's happening, and the hundred who signed in from the Masters tournament to support the movement of out of Atlanta for both the draft and the All-Star game. The fact that they're all in favor of eliminating an ID for voter registration. There'll be an ID for everything and everything that affects those companies, but not for voting. And the big techs got exactly what they wanted. Every big investor, Mr. Gates, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Buffett, Mr. Google's, they all, Mr. Soros, they all wanted higher taxes. Regrettably, some people actually want to make money in the market, and the market is a mechanism for providing capital in addition to relieving all the weak bottom feeders from their hard-earned money by vig and churning. But the other purpose of the market is to provide capital for companies to build up machinery and to build up technology, to build up knowledge. And this capital you can sometimes see, like when all the big pharmaceutical companies that had invested hundreds of billions in research are able to put it together and use all that knowledge and capital investment to come up with the vaccine. And with a crisis mentality, Mr. Pele came up, he was able to overcome all the obstacles in the FDA. It would have taken them 5 years to come up with a vaccine for sure. They hindered it in every way they could. There's a beautiful article in Reason that describes all the delays that were caused if we didn't have the Head Start operation. God knows when we would have it, and the crisis would have been much worse. And now, the amazing thing is how people react to the tax increases. It's as if all the people who want to make money in the stock market and provide the capital don't care about having 60%, 70% of their gains taxed away, and to say nothing about estate taxes. It's horrible that all the big corporations, the big tech, have been supporting this type of thing. And by the way, Bloomberg, of course, is for higher taxes, and the announcement came at 1:13 Eastern Time. and the market went from an all-time high and it dropped to 33.15 in a half hour. The only surprising thing about that is apparently all the members of Congress who always get inside information and trade based on it they didn't have any pre-announcement of it. The amazing situation, and this is very important, the apotheosis of the market analogy is a meteor is, let's assume a meteor is going to hit the earth in 10 minutes. It's going to destroy all civilization. But then the Fed announces that they're going to buy some bonds. They're going to keep the stimulus going. So if the market's going to, if civilization is going to drop, but we're going to have some more money in the market will go up. And it's amazing that with this increase that makes it so unattractive relative to the past for investors, the market was only able to drop 1%.
Right.
Amazing. And the techs only dropped 1%. I mean, it shows incredible strength in the market. And all we can say is that the European markets didn't go down at all. The Asian markets were up. So there was no contagious, empathetic selling in the other markets, which was very strong. And there stands Mr. Sogi, solid as a stone wall, like Stonewall Jackson, who Robert Lee said, if only Stonewall were here. But we have Mr. Sogi, and I believe he's going to be standing firm. He's going to be having his coffee. He's going to do his morning workouts in the waves. He knows exactly where they fall, and he was once a champion surfer. So he's going to be there, and I think we'll see the Sogi level tomorrow, and then 4,400 is in our sights. And it's crazy. They can't just increase taxes and spend the money on progressive policies and expect the taxes that corporations aren't going to pay as much taxes. The corporations aren't going to invest in America. Why should you, when the corporate rate is raised by 100%? And all the commenters on the tax increase, well, they're talking, well, we knew we were going to have a tax increase, and this was greater than expected. But now the horse trading will occur. I mean, it's part of the Washington syndrome, and it's amazing. We have 95% of all the government employees are in the blue zone, and they're all in favor of more crisis and more stimulus, more government spending for infrastructure. If people would only listen to Matt Ridley, Time for Optimism and how innovation works, they would understand everything about climate change. The idea is that if you make it so unattractive for people to buy stocks, then why will they do it? It's going to be much less attractive. And some ridiculous people say, well, hedge funds don't pay taxes. Yes, they do. The only way you can get realize any profits from your hedge fund is by realizing the profits, if any, in the United States, and then you pay the normal capital gains tax, which will now rise more than the earned income level. But we brought it on ourselves. We brought it on ourselves with our support of Washington, D.C. as a new state, with our support of unions as a reservoir for all new spending, pressures for the end of the filibuster and the end of the Supreme Court. We definitely have, instead of having a president who's locked down in the basement, this president is having a new life at 79. He's rejuvenated, and apparently this is the legacy that he wants. And big corporations and big techs and most of the billionaires who don't want the little guys to rise up the ladder, they're all behind him, and that's why he was able to do something. He has someone like Kudlow in his office who knows about the market, and someone told him that you should leak this information about a tax increase when the market's at an all-time high, which he did. But now all the hassling, all the give and take, and on all the terrible intrusions into the economy, and the reductions in standard of living that will be coming. There's horse trading going on, and then, so instead of 100% capital gains rate, we'll have a 45% capital, 45% corp. We'll have an increase in the corporate rate and the capital gains rate and the estate rate.
But Victor, are you saying with all of those tax increases, the market is not going to care and still discount all of this? And still,
I told you, the media. If the media were to strike in 5 minutes, the market would go up. All the billionaires, all the people of interest would say, well, now we've made ours, and now no one will have a uniform mediocrity, uniform inability to climb up the ladder for anyone else. No, the market was incredibly strong considering this. Got down to 41.15, and then it bounced right back to 41.30. We still have 4,200 in our sights. As so often, one wants to throw up his hands and call it a day. somehow there's always some bad news, and this bad news will be reduced. Maybe it will occur in 2022. It will increase the chances that the Republicans will take the House, the Congress. They're now at 75% that the Republicans will take the House. Will probably go up to 85%. The stock market vigilantes, if they can keep the market down until November of 2022, everything will change. But now there's going to be a rush to pass all of the progressive things that we've been talking about, and it won't be as bad as it looks at the outset. That's how all the regulations work. They talk about something that have a horrible effect on you, and then lobbyists come in and say, yeah, well, you know, if a dose of arsenic will kill you, we'll just make it a half loaf. Then everybody's happy. Okay, well, I have good news that someone who's much more knowledgeable than I, and who will be able to talk about all things in the world and how it affects the market and crypto. Andy Aiken will be filling in for me on Friday and Monday. I'll be visiting my daughter at Duke, and thank you very much for all the kind things that our listeners have said about us, and I hope you're all able to rebound from this scare tactic, this crisis thing, and perhaps some of the big corporations will say it's better not to have our corporate tax rate increased to 100%, but so much. Maybe we shouldn't support everything that, you know, because we're reaping a terrible backlash from what we've been saying. Okay, thank you very much, Yelena. Goodbye to our listeners for the weekend.
Thank you, Victor. Have a good vacation. We will certainly miss you.
I'll miss you also, Miss Yelena. Thank you very much.